Welcome everybody to episode 56 of A to Z Sports Talk. I'm AJ here with my co-host Zach Harms. And Zach, our childhood has ended. our
Yeah,
childhood has officially ended. Um, I'm feeling better than what I did a couple nights ago because that I'm
same.
not gonna lie, that hit me pretty hard, bro. That hit me pretty hard.
Yeah, if we did an episode right after the game, I would have been very heated, which I am the majority of the time after a team I like loses, and then give it a couple hours and then I settle down. But I think I've just like accepted it. I've gone through my
I
stages of grief. I try to
I
go as
think
fast as possible.
I think I'm with you there. I'm it's not like I'm content with it,
No, I'm
but
pissed. When I think
I am
about it, I get a
too.
little pissed.
Yes. And we'll get into that in a second because we haven't actually, you and I talked about how we feel about what has gone down here in St. Louis. But there's one thing that's just, I'm really pretty fired up about. But are you doing all right
That our
there in
last like 10 games were like 1-9.
you talking Cardinals?
In postseason, yeah. Our last
Oh,
like however many
postseason.
postseason games were like 1-9.
Yeah. It's, yeah, pretty unacceptable. But
Pain.
you doing good down there besides that?
Yeah, doing good. Well, this weekend was okay. It started
Mhm.
off poorly, but thank God Clemson and the Cowboys won, or I may have tied a brick to my leg and just jumped in the ocean.
That's what you. I was about
I
to say
think
your
I said that
football.
too.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Your your football season's going pretty well though.
It's going very well.
Both
Very
your
well.
teams are playing well.
Clemson, I'm nervous about this week. We'll get into it next episode, but we just got to put a whole complete game in, a
Yeah,
complete game together against
yeah.
teams that we should just murder, basically. Yeah.
hmm Do you have a Did you see it for us today? I know you have a
Yeah, sure.
couple.
Yeah.
You always got a couple.
Come. Um, I guess there was a lot. Um, when DeGrom pitched in the Mets game, did you see as this person MLB Airs tweeted, they called it DeGrope, Buck Showalter like grabbing onto
Oh
his
yeah,
butt.
yeah,
And it wasn't
yeah,
like just like a slap. He like literally grabbed and held on
yeah,
there for a little bit,
yeah.
just gripping it. The yell leaders for Texas A&M being clowns once again. They did their I think they did the midnight rally at where they play at Alabama. Yeah, at somewhere in Alabama. And one of their guys is doing one of their stupid things where he like walks and does like this signal, whatever. I don't know what. It's
Yeah.
just very cringy, and he
Uh-huh.
just completely forgot like his punchline. So
Oh yeah, that was actually pretty funny. I thought.
that was very funny. Um, the Packers lost. We'll get into it later,
Uh-huh.
but the chant from the Brits, "Shove that effing cheese up your ass," and they just were singing it.
I didn't see that.
It was awesome.
That's awesome.
Uh Man, I got a lot that I sent you. I looking at this
hmm
Twitter thing, it's just basically me sending you stuff I see because I just think it's funny. Antonio Brown's been on one lately. He posted a picture of like a cartoon book, and it's Tom Brady leaving the house, and it says, "Daddy doesn't live here anymore." He
Oh
is
my goodness.
he's really going crazy.
Yeah, dude.
Um, and then the other one is the Giants guy, his butt sticking out, a guy massaging his leg, but it does not look like that. And
You
it
just have to see it.
it was very funny. Yeah,
Yeah.
I just saw it and then I kept scrolling and it was like everyone was posting it. I'm like, this
Mhm.
guy's butt naked on the sidelines getting some
Yeah.
work done,
Yeah, some
hopefully.
work. Yeah.
And there's an obvious joke that can go along with it, but I'll just let everyone just
Just yeah.
figure it out yourself.
Yeah, you have to look it up. That's actually pretty hilarious. um
Also, I guess another did you see it is um whenever the Mets lost, they had the Timmy, whatever the Tommy Trumpets guy, and they played taps over it. So that was really
yeah.
funny.
Yeah. My Did You See It is another. I mean, it could be right now the biggest mm, sporting news, I guess, going around. The Draymond Green punch to Jordan Poole.
Forgot about
That's one
that.
of the. That's crazy, because if you watch the video, Jordan Poole was obviously he had to be saying something, but I don't. He wasn't doing anything. It just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, he pushed him and then he just came up and punched him in the face.
Just literally, like I don't know. Did you see Jordan Poole after the punch? I mean, that dude,
Oh,
like
he dropped.
yeah,
But
yeah. Draymond
he
clocked
looked
him.
good. He looked fine. They played yesterday and he got
Oh, he was nasty yesterday.
the free throw award or something. He
Yeah, yeah,
by like point three.
yeah.
I looked it up.
No,
But he didn't look
he
like he had a
made
bruise or anything.
no. That's what I was looking for too. He had a interview and a post conference. What I was interested in is Draymond finally did it, but he hadn't said an apology. And Nick Wright, and I know you're not a big Nick Wright fan, right? The analyst.
I don't even know who that is. Is
Um,
he on Fox Sports?
yeah,
I feel like if you send me a video, it's probably some guy who I've seen before and I don't like.
I'm positive you'll know who he is. And I
Does he have like
think
a
you
skinny
said
head, white, kind of have his hair back,
yes, yes, yes. Now he's got slick back hair.
a
Yeah, yeah,
little
yeah.
like goatee thing going on?
Yep,
Yeah,
that's
idiot.
him. Yep. So he said in an era now where when these things happen, apologies are done through Twitter or whatever like that. He's like
Notes
Draymond's not
app. You gotta pull out the notes app, which I think is so stupid. They type all the stuff on their notes app, then just post a picture.
uh-huh.
I
Yeah.
think it's dumb.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I mean, he he has his own podcast. And so
Oh, he
he's
did
like
this for the clout.
yeah, exactly. But I mean, he posted a podcast episode the next day, no problem. But he didn't. And now it's different. He's come out and he's talked about it in the interview. Um, but yeah, that's one of the craziest things I've ever seen. Because I
Draymond
mean,
Green's another guy who's a little
yeah,
just an interesting guy.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. I wanted. I mean, over the years I've become more open to Draymond and some of the stuff. I don't hate him as much as I used to. But
I
watching
don't
that,
like
I
him.
mean, you just can't do that ever in any circumstance. And so I know he's taken a little step back from the team, but it's got to be tough whenever he comes back. I mean, you and I
Oh
have played
yeah.
sports teams before. It's got to be tough to kind of just move on from that. But
Yeah, for real.
I don't know.
They
But
got Jonathan Kaminga to take his place.
yeah, there you go. I mean, true though. I mean, that dude showed flashes last year. They have some weapons. James Wiseman, if he's healthy. So
Yeah. I'm
I'm
excited
excited
for
for
him.
I'm excited for the NBA season, bro.
Oh, me
The
too.
wild card round of the MLB did not disappoint though.
Yes, it
Besides
did.
besides us, besides us, because there were some really dope games going around. I don't even want to start with us. Let's start Yankees Guardians, or not
You haven't
Yankees
even
Guardians,
played yet.
Guardians Guardians Rays. Yankees are
The
playing the Guardians
ultimate
now.
pitching series.
Yeah, yeah. So the first game, I'm trying to think how the first game went down.
It was
Guardians
Bieber,
won.
McClanahan, and Jose Ramirez
Yes.
hit a 2-run homer at some point during that game. And that's
Yeah.
all that happened. I think Jose Siri of Tampa
He hit the
Bay
homer.
hit a homer. So,
Mhm.
yeah, those were the only 2 runs, or
Yeah, it
only
was
3 runs in total.
2-1, and then that game two was history. I mean, it's the first time it's gone scoreless that far into a playoff game. 15 innings, the Guardians won 1-0 on a walk off. Is it Oscar Gonzalez, the right fielder? Is that his name?
Yeah. Big guy. Is he a rookie?
I was about to say I think it's his second year because they said he hopped on the scene last year.
He looks,
But he is a massive guy.
yeah, he looks like he could be really good. I don't really know him except
Mhm.
from this home run, but he pimped
Yeah.
it pretty good. Also, his walk-up song was the SpongeBob SquarePants theme song, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were saying if you're facing someone with the SpongeBob SquarePants theme song, I feel like you would be a little like out of your element. What's going
Mhm.
on?
Yeah. Yeah, they're all chanting it. Yeah, it's
And then
kind of
there was a
different.
kid in the stands with the SpongeBob like
Mm-hmm.
costume on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw that. I honestly, in my opinion, the best series, and I think you would agree. I mean, that Guardians Rays is pretty cool, the pitching, but the Mariners Blue Jays, Mariners won game one, and then game two, the Blue Jays were up 8-1. The Bo Bichette George Springer play happened, and you told me about it. I didn't see it live, so I still haven't even looked it up. I heard it was pretty bad though.
Yeah.
Bo Bichette going back on a ball and George Springer coming in and
Yeah, it
just
was in the
collision or
triangle. Whenever it's a little blooper and the second who I don't know who this is. It Kevin Biggio's their second baseman,
Kevin, yeah.
or is it that Espinal or
It was Espinal that game, I believe.
okay, yeah, he's better than Kevin Biggio.
Hmm.
They're all running back and George Springer dove head first and Bichette kind of went for it. And I think he hit him kind of in the head. I think that's why he was down so long. And then Bichette his arm, but he got up and then Springer was carted off.
Yeah. Well, I listened to a Blue Jays podcast actually, and they were talking how in the moment it's understandable Bichette's going back on the ball, but analytics showed afterwards George Springer had a 75% chance of catching that.
Oh yeah, he's
Um,
coming in.
exactly. So
I
you
think
said
you're
he was
running so fast and probably the crowd's probably making some noise. You're
mhm.
just because sometimes, and I know this is not really the same, but like in high school, I would play basketball and then I'd be like, I don't, sometimes you just kind of zone out everything. I don't
Yeah,
know
yeah,
how to
for
explain it,
sure.
but
Yeah. I mean, in a playoff game, I mean, it's
mm,
there's a lot of stuff going on. You said he was stretchered off?
he wasn't stretchy, he just sat on the cart.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, I haven't heard an update on his status. But after that play happened, everything fell apart because 3 runs scored on that. JP Crawford got to second. I think that made it 8-4. And the Mariners just kept rolling. And they ended up winning 10 to
No,
9.
that JP Crawford tied it up. That blooper tied it up. It was nine to
Oh, did it?
six
Did it?
or
Okay.
something.
Okay.
And I just know it tied it up.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Um, but yeah, the Mariners, I think it was Adam Frazier had a clutch RBI double, I believe, at the end of that game. And the Blue Jays kind of like the Maple Leafs, just can't get through that
I think
first round.
Austin Matthews threw out the first pitch. So everyone was
Mhm.
saying he passed on the curse to them.
Oh, that's brutal. Yeah, I did see him throughout the first pitch. Um, I guess we can go to our series now because that's kind of the order we
Wait, there
went.
was another one. The
Yeah, there
Mets
was.
Padres. No, let's do that one after because that one made me happy.
Yeah, exactly. And this is the kind of the order we did our predictions in. But no,
We did really good on our predictions. We got one game right.
dang, that's playoff baseball, man. We said
Yeah.
that. That's playoff baseball. But no, the Cardinals. I thought Quintana game 1 was phenomenal, like he has been. I looked up his stats, or I guess I saw his stats. 12 starts with us, 201 ERA, in 62 innings pitched, 1 homer given up.
I think you got to
Quintana,
sign him back, bring him back.
re-sign him. You have to. You have to. And I actually, in the next couple of weeks, again, I'm still ticked off about this whole thing. But I want to do like player grades after
Ooh.
we calm down and relax and think about this season. And also looking forward to next year, there's a couple routes we could go in free agency because this is
Oh,
a
I
good
have some
free
free
agency
agents I
class.
kind of want to throw out here after we
Yeah,
talk about it.
yeah. But no, Yepes with the clutch homer in game 1 off the lefty Alvarado.
Alvarado,
Yeah.
he
Big
came in
clutch
both games.
pinch hit 2-run homer. Um and then I mean we can talk about it now. What do you what
All
were you
hell broke
thinking?
loose.
What were you thinking in the ninth inning there? What
Well, it kind of started in the eighth. I don't know why Ollie got so impatient and decided to go with Helsley to get 5 outs. Did Gallegos pitch the seventh too at all?
I don't think he did. I can pull it up real quick, but I
But
don't I think he just pitched the 8th.
he walked a guy and then he just pulled him. Gallegos is a good reliever. I think he can handle it. But then you bring in Helsley for 5 outs, jammed his
No,
finger.
he pitched the 7th. Yeah, he pitched the 7th.
Gallegos did.
Yeah, so Hicks came in, gave 2/3 to finish the 6th. Gallegos came in for the 7th, 1 out in the 8th, putting up zeros besides the walk. And then Helsley came in, and yeah, the rest is history.
I think I would have rather have had uh Palante or Flaherty come in to finish out the eighth instead of
Mm-hmm.
Helsley.
Mm-hmm.
And then Helsley looked good in the eighth. And then when he walked 3 in a row, right? And then plunked a
Yeah,
guy.
yeah, and not, it wasn't even close.
Yeah, he was all over the place. And then he said he wasn't feeling
Mhm.
feeling in his finger, which to me, if you're not feeling anything in your finger, let someone know because you obviously are not pitching at your
Yeah.
best. And
Yeah.
it's not like it's a regular season game in July against the Pirates.
Yep.
It's a big game because you have to
Yeah.
win two to move on. So that was frustrating. I think after a couple walks, you just have to pull him. And I get why he went to Palante because he wanted the
Mhm.
ground ball, double play. But if you're going to Palante, you got to move Edmund and uh, DeYoung back for
Mhm.
in double play depth to get it. Because Edmund was so close, but if he was back, he would have got it. And I think you could have turned the double play.
Mhm.
I don't know who was batting, but I know it was a faster guy. Or it was Segura.
Yeah. Yeah, with Segura.
Um, and then
But I mean, you think about now that we look back on that inning, we had so many chances for outs that even if he got one, if he went to second and only
I
got
know
one on that. Because the place that's stand out to me is I don't know. I haven't looked back on it, but that Goldie play where Goldie got it and threw home. I understand that was the go ahead run, but I mean, look, we ended up scoring a run in the bottom of the ninth anyway.
we could have
I
tried to
thought
turn two.
I thought he could have. I thought he could have stepped in the bag and turned it. Right,
I
and
still
that
just
that was
can't
my
get over
initial thought.
Edmund didn't why they didn't try to go for double play there because that's what I always
Yeah.
thought. If there's one out, you have the corners in, and then the one thing out of the whole series that A Rod said that I actually was like, oh, that's
Oh my
actually
gosh.
smart was is oh my god, I wanted to shoot myself every time I heard him talk, but he said
Mi-
move the
Michael
infielders back.
Michael K Michael K was awful
I
also.
legit muted the second game after the
Yep.
fourth inning.
Hmm.
And then I tried to listen to the radio with it, but then I was ahead and it didn't work out. So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just
yeah,
sat there. Um, I'll get into that later. That I'm also pissed about
yeah.
that. Uh, but I love Palante, but I think I would have gone Flaherty there and just
Hmm.
said, you try to strike him out. Because Palante is not a strikeout guy, he's a contact guy. And he got the contact, but when you get contact, like you can find a hole.
Yeah.
Like Gene Segura, credit to him, he hit that ball. That ball was like almost on the ground and he hit it
Hmm.
and just put it into play, which we didn't do at all hitting.
Yeah. I mean, and then Nato lets that one under his glove, and the inning just like implodes. And you mentioned it, but I mean, Palante kind of did his job of
He
getting
did,
ground
really,
balls.
yeah.
Um, but I don't know. I again, we don't know what I guess was happening because Heldy said he had no feeling in his finger. So either he must have not told Ollie that, and Ollie was just saying, "You've been our guy all year." Um, so we ended up losing that 6-3. But going into game two, I still felt pretty confident. I
Mm-hmm.
know Nola was going. He's been pitching really well. Obviously, he's
Michael
one of
has
the best
pitched
pitchers.
good. He just had
Yeah,
one bad pitch.
the curveball to Harper, that first pitch. Yeah, and
God, I
Harper
hate
turned
Bryce
on it.
Harper too. That also pissed me off. You were probably cheering slightly in
No,
your head,
no, I
Bryce
wasn't.
Harper
I
lover.
wasn't.
I'm
But
really
no,
bad
that
because if any of my teams lose to someone in the playoffs, I hate them for the rest of my life.
hmm.
Like Edmundo Sosa, of course, scored sliding in
Yeah,
head first, and I'm like,
yeah,
I now hate you.
yeah.
You played
He
for
caught
us.
the
I know. I'm
the
like,
final out.
you gotta be flipping kidding me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we started the game. Newpar got that single that he stretched into a double and was all
He was
fired
pumped
up. And
up.
I
I'm
was
like,
like, yeah,
okay.
I was like, here we go, here we
And
go.
then we
And
laid an egg.
I think they struck out the side even. He might have.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, so Albert struck out, and I don't even. I mean, this is the part where I'm most mad at Nato. You've been talking this talk how
He
you
hit the
want
ball
to.
hard. There was a
Yeah,
stat where the something where it's some average. He was just unlucky. He hit the ball hard.
yes. Bohm
Now
made a couple ridiculous plays at third
hate him
that
now
were
too.
yeah,
I
he was
hate the
robbing
Phillies.
stuff. He was
I'm
robbing
go
stuff.
Braves.
But dude, what about Goldie? 0 for 7 in that series or in the two
This
games.
this is what I pushed down deep what I was worried about was going to happen after
Mhm.
watching this in September, just kind of we got to a big lead in our division, and I think a couple episodes before the playoffs, when we clinched, I was like, "Oh, how many games up were we on the Brewers?" And it was only 6. I was like, "Oh, I thought it was more." So we
Yeah.
were just kind of playing 500 baseball against teams that really weren't great, and so I feel like we kind of limped into the postseason, and that was what I was most worried about was our bats were just not gonna. Goldie wasn't hitting. He was stuck on 115 RBIs for seemed like the whole month.
Hmm. Yeah, he didn't
Um,
homer at all for the
yeah,
longest time.
Arenado wasn't the only guy. The guy who showed up was Pujols.
Yeah, that's
Should
crazy.
have batted him third.
That's crazy. I think that last at bat. So I mean, we had who got yeah. Who got on to lead that inning? Was it Newbar with a walk, I think?
Yeah, then Pujols ripped it down the line.
Yes. And then so first and second, Goldie's putting up a good at bat.
First and second,
Um
1 out.
yeah,
Deluzio,
got a,
Newbar on.
has a full count. That ball was never a strike. That ball was down. It was in the dirt pretty much when it left his hand. And it wasn't like a breaking ball either. I think it was like a sinker that just literally was down, down, down.
I
And
could tell his first at bat. I think Nola. It was either his first or second or third or fourth. I don't remember.
yeah, okay.
But he threw 2 sliders back to back and way out of the zone, and Goldie just lunged at it and swung. I was like, oh God.
Yeah. So
But
I mean,
I'll be honest. I thought there was gonna be some magic in the ninth
I
inning.
thought so too.
I was laying on my couch with my eyes closed, literally saying a prayer for every single guy up.
Yep. Yep. No, did you cry at all at the end?
No, I was kind of pissed. I got sad in the morning when I saw all the tweets like Yachty and Albert uh like thank you, because I was telling Kaylee, I was like the only catchers I remember in Cardinals playing for the Cardinals since I've been alive is Mike Matheny when I was 5 or 4 or really little, and then Yadier Molina until now, which is crazy. And then, you got like Tony Cruz, Jason
Yeah.
LaRue, AJ
Yeah, yeah,
Pierzynski.
yeah.
That's probably like our backup since then, which is kind of crazy. And then
I did.
Albert, he's been playing for 22 years. He came up in
Mhm.
2001. So
Mhm.
literally the entirety of my life, which
Yeah,
is
it's
crazy.
wild. It's wild. I did
And my like
cry.
childhood hero. So
I did cry at the end when Yachty got the hit because Albert. Did you see Albert? Albert was like over there praying, um, on the bench, and then I just felt like it was like it did. We obviously didn't win, which was always obviously the goal, but it was a perfect ending. They both finished their careers. Yachty obviously has not been a great hitter all year
mm-mm.
long, and for him to get that opposite, I mean, it was like a classic Yachty hit. It was the
Yeah.
push it the other
He
way, and
always, yeah. And of course, it was Tommy Edmond who popped it up, who I feel like was right on that ball. I always feel like when you're
mm-hmm.
pop it up, you're just a little bit underneath it.
Yeah,
Because I felt like Tommy was going to rip a liner,
yeah.
but
And I mean,
unfortunately didn't.
was it Deluzio at first or Carlson? It was Carlson.
Yeah. That
Deluzio
was
pinch
another
ran
thing.
Robert.
I wish I understand why you played Yepes. I would have
Mm-hmm.
played Carlson
It didn't end up hurting us, but did you see
until
that?
that double.
Yeah, did you see the
It
double?
almost did. Yeah, that pissed me
Yeah,
off
yeah,
too.
yeah. He just stopped running. He
Yeah.
completely stopped running. Yeah.
I
So
will say,
luckily it didn't hurt us, but
I know we've been talking about like we have good outfielder depth. I feel like we have a lot of decent guys in the
oh,
outfield.
there's no studs. Yeah.
No.
You
That's
you
why I
would think
say
that you
you
would
got
think
to
that with
call up Jordan
O'Neal.
Walker. He's mashing the ball in the Arizona Fall League. He had a homer
Yeah.
today again,
Like 443. I just saw that.
108 off the bat.
Yeah, dude's gonna be amazing, and it seems fitting because I mean he's like besides Oscar Taveras, he's like the closest thing to Albert's prospect.
Mm-hmm.
And then the year Albert goes out, we bring him in. Why not? So
I I hope Carlson can turn it around next year and O'Neal just
I,
stay healthy.
I think Carlson will. I don't think this is
He
the
just doesn't hit
Carlson.
the ball hard.
Yeah.
His bat speed is so like long, and
Mm-hmm. Very long.
I don't like saying this, but it gives me PTSD of Dexter Fowler hitting a baseball.
Ooh. Oh, Fowler had a super long swing, man. That bat had
This
a
is kind of
long
like it.
time.
He has no pot, like nothing off it.
Yeah, yeah. I can
Great
see that
defender though,
comparison.
better
Yeah.
than Dexter by
Let's
a
get to
long shot.
something a little brighter here. The Padres beat the Mets. So first game, Scherzer got shellacked, bro. I mean, Scherzer was just
Yeah,
getting
that was
lit up.
surprising.
Um, game two, what was the final score for game two? That was
Or nothing.
7-3 Mets. And then the last game, Padres, I mean, just the Mets had one hit.
Musgrove. Oh man.
Yeah. So how do you feel about the whole all the stuff? Because I the shiny ear or something like that people are talking about. But I think it's like
Can you not?
McCutcheon said
Have you ever heard of, like sweat or what?
McCutcheon
Yeah, that
McCutcheon
was
said it
kind of
was
weird. I don't know.
yeah,
Red hot on your ear,
yeah. I've never heard of that.
and then everyone's when he comes out there, Musgrove goes like this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, have you ever when you're sweaty, not like gone like this before?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I also they're saying his
Exactly.
spin rates are up. My thing is it's a playoff game, winner take all at the opposing ballpark. You're probably a
Mhm.
little hyped up
For
and got
sure.
some adrenaline pumping through you.
For sure.
But hey, it's Mets fans. They got to find some reason for why they lost.
Yeah. Yeah,
Pond
for sure.
scum.
It I mean, one hit still doesn't I mean, it's one hit. He
Yeah.
almost got no hit in the elimination game. And
Oh,
then
but
Bassett.
after that, he just went. I love that whenever, except it's like against us, but
Yeah,
whenever
yeah,
someone does something and then they just shove it right in their face. And when he
yeah.
did this to their, oh, that was
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
That I don't really like. I hate the Mets.
I mean, I would, I want to say the Padres can't beat the Dodgers, and I want to say the Phillies can't beat the Braves, but I could see a world where Nola and Wheeler go absolutely nutty, and then they get a couple bombs from Schwarber, and then they knock
Yeah.
them off. It could happen. It's
The funny thing
playoffs.
was the one thing we were worried about going into the postseason was our starting rotation, and our pitchers pitched great,
Unreal.
and we couldn't hit. And really, the Phillies didn't hit good at all either.
I'm gonna be honest. I saw some people tweet this, and I'm not saying. I mean, we deserve to lose, 100%. I'm not trying to make an excuse or anything like that. I would like to just see like they do in the NBA and in the NHL, just best of seven. I know it's a long season, I know,
Mm-hmm.
but it's hard to win your division and then
Playing the
I know
wild
that
card round.
yeah, and then you're done in 48 hours.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough. With that being said, I mean we would have been down 2-0 and had to make some crazy comeback. So I'm not making an excuse for us losing.
We would have
But
been down 2-0 and going to Philadelphia.
exactly. I really would have just liked for, you know, I don't even like the NLDS and ALDS 5 game series.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a fan of just 7 all the way out. And again, I
Yeah.
know it's a super long season. Expand the rosters. I
Mm-hmm.
want expanded rosters. I want more pitchers available. So if you can save arms, um, but I mean, look at the NHL. They have an 82 game season, and for a physical game like that, that's a long season.
Yeah.
And so they got it out and play all 7. And I know that a lot of people call the NBA soft, but they still go all 7. And I mean, you mentioned it several
I
times.
think
The
NBA
playoffs,
should go 5 in the first round. The teams are so bipolar.
yeah, the 1v8, yeah, that's very true.
But hockey, it's
Um,
like a coin flip, really.
yeah, this next round is going to be fun though. I mean, I think you and I can agree Mariners are Guardians and pretty much screw everybody else. So
Yep. Yep.
that's
I
how it's going to be.
yeah, Mariners, Guardians, then who would be that third team that you would say, "Hey, I wouldn't mind."
It's not going to be the Dodgers. For me, I like the Braves' talent.
Mm-hmm.
That whole chop thing and like I hate it.
Yeah,
It's
it's
so
very annoying.
annoying.
Same with
So
like the
annoying.
Chiefs and Florida State.
Yeah, everybody does it, man. Everybody.
The worst
I
thing
don't.
is last year sat next to Florida State's band when they played at Clemson.
Oh my
I wanted
gosh.
to kill them. Okay,
Yes.
I probably shouldn't say that. It was very annoying.
Yes. Honestly, I'm since they beat us, it looks better if the Phillies keep winning. So I'm gonna cheer
No,
for
I
them over
hate
the
the
Braves.
Phillies.
I hate the Phillies
They
fan
have the
base.
worst fans.
Yeah.
Bad fan town.
Yes, definitely. Padres don't. I don't like Machado. I don't like Hater. I don't like Soto.
Soto.
but they're more likable without Tatis. If they had
Mhm.
Tatis, I would not be able to
I
handle
kind of
this.
it would be kind of cool if they won without Tatis and are like, hey,
Yeah,
see, we can win without you, big boy.
yeah. Don't want the Yankees to win. I don't like that Yankees fan base, even though I don't hate the Yankees players. Really, I don't have anybody that I'm like, eh.
Matt Carpenter may
Um,
play, so I hope Matt Carpenter plays
that'd be
good, but I hope
awesome.
they lose.
That'd be awesome. But yeah, Mariners, Guardians, please, one of you guys come out and win it. That'd be awesome.
I feel like I would
Um,
like the Astros if they didn't cheat that one year.
I was about to say that because they don't have anybody that rubs me the wrong way. I have this idea
Bregman.
in my Bregman. That's true. I have this idea of Altuve from that whole thing that happened. But besides
He
that,
had one of his
Altuve's
best offensive years this year.
yeah, he's unbelievable. Hall of
Well,
Famer.
maybe.
I have to look deeper into it. But
I would too.
for the first time in months here, we have some NHL to talk about. So uh, we're
Hockey.
we're gonna the season has technically started already. I don't know if you knew that. They
I
had
think
two.
I heard it on when I was listening to part of my take. They're like, yeah, they started some games in
Nobody knows
like
about it.
Prague or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. They started in Prague. Um, the Sharks versus the Predators. Predators won both games over there. The season has started, I guess, with that. But all the games start Tuesday night. Which if you're listening to this on a Tuesday, it'd be tonight. But it's I'd have to look. Rangers definitely play. The Ducks definitely play. But I'd have to look it up. But they're on ESPN, which I love that NHL has made that contract with TNT and
Yeah.
ESPN because a lot more people, even yourself, you said even last year during the playoffs, you could watch
Yeah.
more of games that were happening. But we do have our I think
Valley
you said you're
Sports Midwest, fix your app so I can watch Blues games.
yeah, definitely.
We'll see if it works on
Um
this TV.
you said you're going to do this on the spot, but
Yeah, sure.
our division predictions. So I'm going to start in the Atlantic. And
Okay.
so again, three teams
Okay.
make it, and then a wild card, two wild cards from the East and the West. So for me in
Three
the
teams
Atlantic,
make it, one wild card. Okay.
yes,
Or
it doesn't
two.
have
Wait.
it doesn't have to be a wild card from the Atlantic. It could be both
It's
from the
two wild
Metro.
cards for each conference.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh boy.
So in the division, I don't like this setup. I don't personally like it. I like just the one
Let's
through
do the
eight.
divisions, the division people first for each like the Atlantic, then Metropolitan, then do the wild card.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah. So I have the Toronto Maple Leafs with the best record in the Atlantic. I have Tampa Bay coming in second. I have Florida in third.
Those are the three I was gonna pick. I think
Mhm.
they could be in any order.
I think last year,
It was
was
Florida.
Florida, Toronto, Tampa. I think,
Yeah, I think so.
but I mean, it's got to be those three. You could throw Boston maybe in there, and but those three are definitely top of the pack. Um, in the Metro, I have the Rangers, and I think they're one of the favorites to win it all this year. The Hurricane are in second for me, and then the Penguins are coming in third.
Yeah, that's who I would honestly say too, looking at with I think Pittsburgh's gonna be good.
Mm-hmm.
And Ovechkin's still playing, right?
Yep, yep, yeah.
Yeah, Capitals will be good. Yeah.
Washington could sneak in there for sure. And then in the wild card, I have the Bruins making it. They had a big coaching change in the offseason. If you look at the roster, they re-signed Bergeron. They re-signed, or I don't think they had to re-sign Marchand, but Marchand's still there. Pasternak's still there. So yeah, they're very very good still. And my sleeper, and because they made a lot of moves in the
I
offseason,
know what
the
you're gonna say.
the Ottawa Senators.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Detroit.
I thought about Detroit because they did make it. They're kind of similar with like Ottawa. Ottawa made a lot of moves though, and I think Ottawa's gonna get booted out in the first round, but I think they make the playoffs.
I'll go Boston, even though I didn't want to.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll just be boring and pick the Capitals.
That's not a bad pick. That's not a bad pick.
Is Columbus supposed to be
Um,
good with Johnny Garu?
so I was looking at the roster, and they have a couple stars like Goudreau, Line, and then
Werenski. Boom.
there you go, Zach Ruinski, the defenseman. Yeah,
He
there you
was on
go.
my fantasy draft NHL team.
Yes, sir. Yeah, he's a great player. And then Elvis Merzlikins is their goalie, and he's a stud.
Oh yeah, he's a beast.
And in the Central, I do have the Avs winning that. Winning that division. I have the Blues coming in second, and then I know the Wild were there last year right after us, but I have the Predators making it this year. Not just because they looked really good in Prague, but I like their roster, and they made a couple moves. Niederreiter from Carolina is there now, and I think Nashville gets that third spot.
So first in the Central, Arizona, obviously. I'm kidding. Avalanche or Juggernauts, they're gonna be first.
Mhm.
Uh I'll go Blues second, and then I'll go Wild third.
That's
I
not
feel like
that's not bad at all.
so St. Louis, Nashville, Minnesota, Dallas, and Colorado are all pretty. They were all
Mhm.
good. They all made the playoffs. No, Nashville didn't make the playoffs last year.
Yeah, they
Dallas
made
made
the first. They all did.
all
So
five of them.
Pacific,
Oh yeah, because
yeah,
two wild cards.
yeah. So
Is
I mean, that's
Winnipeg
how
supposed to be good?
no, but they're one of those teams that could sneak in a wild
They
card.
have that fast defender. That's all I know. Hughes.
Winnipeg?
Or is he on a different team?
Vancouver.
Vancouver. Yeah.
Yeah, Quinn Hughes. Yeah.
Vancouver to the champion Stanley Cup.
Yep. So we agreed on there. Besides, I mean, you had the Wild, I had the Predators. In the Pacific, I have the Oilers winning that, and I think they've got to be the favorite. I have Calgary coming in second, and they lost Johnny Gaudreau and Matthew Tkachuk, but they got Nazem Kadri, and we all hate Kadri here on this podcast. And then I have the Kings coming in third
And they
place.
got that guy from Florida.
Oh yeah. Huberto. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's obviously a big. um, but I have the Kings coming in third, and I was really torn. I was making that today, and I was like, yeah, the Kings give me San Francisco Giants vibes, where I could see them coming down to earth after kind of surprising everybody. But
Mm.
they got Kevin Fiala from Minnesota. He's a 30+ goal scorer, and so I think he's going to add to that goal scoring. And then they have really good goalies. I mean, goalies are kind of up and down. It really depends on the year. But
Yeah.
Jonathan Quick and Cal Peterson over there. So I have them finishing that.
I have Edmonton first. I feel like not a lot of these teams were that great last year.
No, the Pacific's bad.
Uh, is Vegas supposed to be good? Don't they have a lot of good players? They just don't play good.
Vegas is complete. They were always competitive since they've come into the league, and now they're. If you look at the roster, it's a bunch of nobodies.
All right, I won't pick Vegas then. I guess I'll go Calgary. Then I'll go my boy Hughes, Vancouver. Have no idea if they're good or not.
They're. I mean, I have them. I think
They're frisky.
I'm trying to think about a wild card here, and I definitely have.
I'm picking Dallas and Nashville.
So yeah, I had Nashville in the division, so I have Minnesota as the wild card, and then yeah, I'll go with Dallas also. I really wanted to pick like Anaheim because they have a lot of flashy young fun players, but yeah, I'm gonna
Oh
go.
yeah, Zegras.
Yeah, he's the cover of Chell this year,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'll go Dallas and Minnesota to finish that up. But we didn't bring in our individual awards, but I'll make sure to post that this week. And so
Yeah, because I still don't know what they mean.
yeah, there's
What's the
it's
MVP? Is that the
different.
Hart Trophy?
That's the Hart Trophy. Yeah,
Okay, I know that one.
yeah. The Vesna's the goalie. The Norris is the best defenseman.
Didn't O'Reilly win that?
O'Reilly's won the now you're getting me tricked up.
Defensive forward, wasn't it?
Yes. And I get that confused with the award for the best playoff player. One of them is the Selke. But
NHL. Have the names, but then in parentheses, put what it actually is.
yeah. Yeah. They've always done it like this. But
It's kind of cool, honestly.
It honestly is. It is. But yeah, a lot more NHL talk coming, which is very
Low-key
fun.
getting kind of excited for hockey.
Look at you, Zach. Look at you.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Another fun topic here, the NBA. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We have today our top 10 small forwards. So there is one guy on this list that you put him at shooting guard. I put him at small forward, Jalen Brown. So that'll be a little different. But I feel like I do this every every list is an honorable mention from my favorite team, the Raptors. But I had OG Anunoby off the list. I think Fred Van Vliet. I think he made my list though. I have to double check
No,
that.
he didn't make your list.
He was an honorable mention then,
I
and then
think so, yeah.
I had Gary Trent as an honorable mention, and now I have OG. At power forward, Siakam's got to make the list for sure. The power forward, like you said, it's
They suck.
not very deep. Yeah. And even at the back end here, not fantastic.
Yeah.
But anybody that you were left off your list that's kind of crazy or
Michael Porter.
ooh, okay.
He was hurt the entire year. He can't stay on
Yeah,
the court.
exactly. I have a hard
I
time
want him
putting
to be
on
so
there.
good. Ever since
Yeah.
he went to Mizzou, I'm just he's showing flashes.
Oh yeah. I mean, he has since high school.
Yeah.
Obviously, he was the number one or number two recruit coming out of his class. At number 10, though, and I actually had OG number 10 until today. I switched it. I have RJ Barrett at number 10 from the New York Knicks. And I feel like he's slowly, he was the number 3 overall pick a couple of years back, but he's slowly coming into his own. And so I don't know if he's that, I don't think he'll ever be a number 1 guy. But him and
No.
Julius Randle over there are playing pretty good. Now they have Jalen Brunson. I feel like that could help spread the floor for him. And he's still only like 22, 23 years old. So I really like RJ. So he's my number 10.
I'm going with the Jefferson City kid, OG Anunoby, for number 10.
You wouldn't think that here in OG Anunoby. You wouldn't think that.
He was born in London. Just found that out.
Gotcha.
Average 17 a game. Like a reliable scorer, but he's not do it like give him the ball and go ISO, spot up cutter.
Yeah.
And then just an elite defensive guy, which is super important on the Raptors and helping them win with a really fun lineup to have with just a bunch of long guys.
Yeah, it's awesome, bro. And I will say with OG in the 76ers series last year that we lost in 6, OG started playing more ISO ball like against certain guys. I think he had Tobias Harris on him, which is not a great defender. And he was doing a little more ISO stuff. And I listen to this Raptors podcast every morning. And he was talking how
every morning.
I do every morning. He gets my day started. But
big Raptors guy.
Yes, sir. But no, OG's starting to come into his own a little bit where I think he has the ability to be a more ISO guy. And if he does that, you already mentioned it's a very fun lineup, and I feel like you add him with Scotty Barnes and Siakam and Gary Trent, spacing the floor. And
Scotty Barnes a power forward,
technically, and they have OG at the 3.
Okay.
Oh, you mean for our list?
Yeah.
Yeah, I count him as a power forward. Yeah, well, I mean Siakam. Siakam runs center.
They're both power forwards.
Yeah, I agree. My number 9 was Mikal Bridges from the Suns, and Mikal came in second the Defensive Player of the Year award voting last year to Marcus Smart. But Mikal has slowly, I wouldn't even say slowly, it's happened pretty fast. He's become in my opinion, a top 10 small forward, where he was just a defensive 3-and-D guy, and now he's doing a little more kind of like OG, where he's not an ISO guy. Don't want to get that impression, but he's doing more of that stuff. So yeah, Mikal, I feel like he has to be. I mean,
I also believe he was I know Jalen Brunson was. He may have been the collegiate player of the year too.
From Villanova. He was
in the running for the Wooden War. He played at Villanova.
Yeah, he was definitely in the running. I think Brunson won it. Brunson won it twice, right?
Yeah, I think he won it his last year whenever they won the title.
Yeah,
or they won it twice. I think. Yeah, they won it twice.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
But no, Mikal is really good for that Suns team, and I feel like he's still kind of underrated because you get the CP3 love, you get the Booker love, the Ayton, and then they talk about Bridges. But I think he's just as valuable as really anybody.
Oh yeah. My number 9 is Andrew Wiggins. Somehow started in the All-Star game. Don't agree with that. He was an All-Star this year. his stats are bored. Like he averaged 17 a game, shot 46%, 40 from three. So like solid numbers. Really good piece for the Warriors, and I think he really gets to do a lot and shows athleticism off playing off Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, and Jordan Poole. Like he's probably their third or fourth option, really.
Mm-hmm.
And he's really good. I think he can play really good defense if he puts his mind to it, but I don't think he always does. So yeah, he was the number one overall pick too, right?
Yep, he was.
Yeah.
And people said, "Oh, he didn't live up to it." I mean, but
He's putting a solid career together.
he really is. And so Wiggins was my number 8, and I feel like in that system in Golden State, he's kind of blossoming here. I feel like in Minnesota, he came in and they kind of wanted him to be the guy, and I don't think he's ever going to be the guy or ever
No.
was going to be. But he's with the spacing that Steph and Klay provide and Jordan Poole, he can kind of just thrive over there as a slasher and even get his ISO buckets when he needs to. But yeah, Wiggins was my number 8.
My number, I guess, is my 8. Yeah,
Yeah.
because you went first. My number 8 is Brandon Ingram of the Pelicans. Average 22 points a game, round up 23, 6 rebounds. I'll round up 5.6 assists, but that's 6 in my book. Shot 46%, 32 from three, so not great. He's a guy when he's hot, he can just go off and just make everything, but he's not the best efficiency guy.
Yeah.
And also, I think like a big statistic in NBA is win shares now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I just know if it's higher, it's better. He had 3.9.
Kind
So
of like War, right?
I think it's similar to that, yeah.
I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of looking at that in some of my rankings, but I think he's good. I think he's more of that. I think he's very similar to like Carmelo Anthony, just a scorer.
Yeah, yeah.
He
I
does
can see
pass
that.
it a little bit more than him, but he gives me just score vibes. Not really a great defender. He was an all-star this year, I believe, right? Yeah.
Was he? Did he make it?
No, that
Yes, he
was
did.
that was like 3 years ago. Wow.
Was it
Time
really?
flies.
I could have sworn he made it this year.
Maybe. Yeah, I'm confused.
BI was my number 7, and I feel like Kevin Durant is a good and bad comparison to him because he's long and lanky and is a bucket like that, but also
Kevin Durant
KD's
shoots crazy percentages.
it's insane. It's insane. But he's like, I would say KD's a better defender for sure. But you kind of get that comparison where they're a bucket like that. I think Ingram's still like 23 or something like that. So I mean, I think this guy, what what is the phrase I tried to say last week? I said so like the sky is
Wait,
the
what?
ceiling or something. I think I said like the sky is the ceiling or something like that.
Oh,
Whatever that phrase
so you're
is.
like Michael Jordan when he said the sky's the ceiling, the sky's the limit.
The sky is the limit. Yeah. Did MJ say that in that documentary
Yeah,
or
he
what?
said it at NC or Carolina game, basketball game.
Oh, gotcha. But no, Bi is an absolute bucket, and you get Zion healthy, you get CJ healthy, and that team could, I think we mentioned it last week. That team could make some noise.
All right, so my number 7 is Mikal Bridges. I really like him. One, he had 8.9 win shares, which is over half more than Brandon Ingram.
Yeah.
He played every single game, shot 53%, shot the three at 37, averaged 14 rebounds. He's a elite defensive player, as you were saying. I think he's going to get even better this year. I honestly think if you take him off the Suns, they would not be nearly as good. I think he's one of the most important players on their team because we know Devin Booker can't play defense to save his life. So Mikal Bridges has to take on that assignment and shut him down. And he's really good. I've really liked him since he was in college. And yeah, he's just as steady as they can be.
For sure. He also takes on every best wing player. He guards Braun, he guards KD, he guards Giannis, he guards Tatum.
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler. So he's
and
got
he
a big
plays every
assignment.
game. He doesn't get hurt.
I know. Do you have his stats pulled up
I did. Yeah.
Okay.
What's that doing now?
of his points per game?
14.2.
I was gonna say I thought it was 14. So
It's
yeah,
raised every single year.
exactly. That's what I was gonna say. My number 6 is Chris Middleton of the Milwaukee Bucks, and Middleton.
Same.
Right on. Yeah, I was about to say when you were talking about Mikhail, we've been pretty close on everything. I think you left R.J. Barrett off, didn't you?
Yeah. Didn't even cross my mind.
Yeah.
I feel like that says enough. He shouldn't be on my list.
No, Chris Middleton's been a really good number 2 star over there, um, and Milwaukee to Giannis, and obviously Drew Holiday as well. But Middleton is a mid range assassin. His name fits him perfectly, and a huge part of that championship team, and a huge reason why they could win another one this year.
Yeah, perfectly said. I had Chris Middleton at 6 too. Uh, just makes the big shot when you need it. Just
Hmm.
reliable, fun to watch because I love the mid range. Very
Hmm.
hard to play with on 2K because he's very slow.
Yeah,
But
very hard. Yes.
yeah, I like Chris Middleton. And he was a G League guy who I believe is 3-time All-Star now and NBA
Yeah.
champion.
Yeah, he's kind of like Mikhail has constantly gotten better.
Yeah,
My number
true.
five was Jalen Brown, and you have him on your shooting guard list, like I mentioned. But Jalen is the number 2 star in Boston, but I feel like he could be a number 1 star in a lot of places.
I
Jalen
feel like
Brown's an
you had to
absolute.
I think we did this again. There's someone on my list who you have at a different
Oh
position.
great, oh great, oh man, we'll find out.
I think
But
it's
no,
gonna be this guy that I'm about to say, which
okay,
I'll be disappointed if you have him at power forward.
okay.
You want to guess? No, I was DeMar DeRozan. Did you have him at power forward?
No, I have him here.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I have
God,
him
who
here.
else is it?
DeMar is your number 5.
Yes.
Okay, right on.
Uh, I think the guys in front of him are better.
Hmm.
Uh, career year last year. His stats aren't loading for me, so that's awesome. But I know
It's
he
like
averaged like
27 or
27.
28. Yeah.
Yeah, 27, 10 rebounds, 11 assists. Very solid year for DeMar. Kidding. He had like probably 5 and 4 or something.
Hmm.
But really just kind of was a spark plug for the Bulls. Really, if they didn't have him, they wouldn't be what seed were they? Like the 5 or 4?
I think they were the 5.
So they're pretty good. They were the 1 seed for a long time. But it was exciting to see him after being with the Spurs for a little bit, come to Chicago and just have one of his best years when he's 30, his early 30s, 33,
Hmm.
34 maybe.
Hmm.
He's getting
Hmm.
up there now. But yeah, I think he's crucial part to the Bulls and very good.
Yeah, DeMar was my number 4, and so you and I have been pretty on with our list right here. But DeMar is the number 1 guy over there, and I think they could definitely make noise. Him, Levine, Vucevic. Love to see Lonzo be healthy at a defensive
Oh
aspect of
yeah.
that team. But you got Caruso, man. Caruso can fill in and do his thing. So, yeah, I have DeRozan at 4, and he had a couple bad years. I don't want to say bad actually, but not big number years in San Antonio. But it's also a system in San Antonio where they don't usually have a number 1 guy, and
Yeah.
so he can kind of control the game and go get buckets in Chicago, and he's done that so far. But I'm kind of interested on who you have that I don't have.
I feel like it's gonna be this guy who I say is a small forward and you always say no, he's not. But my number 4 is Paul George.
I have him on my list.
I know who it is. It's gonna be the next guy I say.
Okay.
Um Paul George. I think everyone always gives him crap. I think
Hmm.
he's still extremely underrated. He's been super consistent, uh, insanely good at defense. One of the best defenders. God, my computer's like flipping out. It's like nothing's loading, probably because I have so much stuff going on. But um, I know he's been like all defensive multiple times.
Mhm.
Averaged 24 last year. I think he's gonna and he shot 42%, but he was really their entire offense. He had to shoot
Yeah.
to give him a chance to even score.
He didn't play. He was injured
Yeah, he
quite a
played
bit, right?
31 games. He was
Yeah,
injured
that's
for a
what
long
I
time. I'm just waiting. I just want a full season of, oh baby, go Devontae Adams.
thought.
Touchdown.
Right
It was
on.
like a 60-some yard touchdown. Sorry. But I just been waiting for him and Kawhi to just be healthy the whole season just to see
Mhm.
what they can do.
That team's a title threat.
Yes.
They
Every
really
year.
are.
If even if
Mhm.
they get in the playoffs and they're both healthy, Kawhi just goes to a different level.
Yeah, man. He's gonna be different this year. Oh, hold up. Do you have Kawhi on small forward list?
Yeah.
Okay. So I had him at power forward because I had Paul George at the small forward. Okay.
They're both
I
small
got it.
forwards. They just play out of position.
I got you. Okay. My number 3 was Jimmy Butler. And Jimmy
Oh
Butler
God,
is
I didn't have him on my list. So you don't have another guy on your list here. I forgot about
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, it's hard making this list, man. Um,
I guess I have
yeah,
to put
Jimmy
Jimmy
was my
Butler at
number.
power forward. Jimmy Butler's an honorable top 5 for me.
Yeah, there you go. I'll just add that whenever I edit these videos. But
Oh man.
no, Jimmy was my number 3, and he's one of the best two-way players in basketball. And really wish he would have had the extension. Did you see his extension dreads that he had
Yeah, I don't
rocking for
like
the
those.
longest time?
No, don't like
He cut him or he cut him off, or however you do
just
extensions, bro. I don't
unclipped
know
him
how that
from his
works.
head. They're like
Exactly.
woven into it, I think. I don't
I
know.
know. Yeah. I mean, even when
And then you
Hannah
can't
has
wash them.
no.
So then
So
they
Hannah has
smell.
extensions. Hannah has these ones weaved in, and when you feel it, it's like literally weaved into her head.
Really?
It's a weird thing. Yeah. But
Wait,
back to
Hannah, is it
basketball.
like a braid like on the side of her head?
It's in the back, and so it like added a layer to the back of something.
Ah,
You couldn't notice when you look, but
never
when she had me
noticed.
feel it, yeah.
So next time I see Hannah, I should
Um,
just grab the back of her hair.
yeah, yeah. But no, Jimmy Butler's an absolute dog, and honestly, personally, I've kind of underrated him, or overrated him. I've overlooked him for the last couple of years. I didn't think he was anything, but then he had that tremendous bubble run, and
Yeah.
he's continued that. So he's my number 3.
Wait, so you say you have Paul George on your list?
Yeah,
Okay,
Kawhi's
there's
gonna go on my power forward list.
this guy's gonna go. This is the guy I'm about to say right now. You're gonna have on your power forward list, and it's one of my biggest pet peeves.
Mm.
Jason Tatum.
Yes, so I did have him on my power forward
Yeah,
list.
screw you, AJ. Come on, he's a small forward.
It's because I have Jalen. It's the same
Oh,
thing
look
as
at
the
this
Clippers.
basketball reference. Small forward.
It's the same thing with the Clippers thing. So like I have Paul George small forward, Kawhi power forward, and I have Jalen Brown small forward and Tatum power forward. But yeah, he's a
Jalen
small
Brown
forward.
shooting guard. Jason Tatum small forward.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Because then on 2K he has to play on the block the whole time, and I want Jason
I
Tatum
know
up
that.
on
Yeah.
3-point
Yeah.
line.
Yeah.
And then there's some teams that the 4 will play outside, and then there's teams where I don't know how to get him out there. Now I'm
Mm-hmm.
going on a tangent, but Jason Tatum is my third. St. Louis boy. Uh, I played against him. He wouldn't be as good if he didn't face me, an elite defender. I'm kidding. I did almost hit a 3 when he was closing out on me, but I missed it. That would have been really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
But had probably his best, career year, I'd say. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
26 roundup, 27 points a game, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. The one thing about Jason Tatum is he never shoots at a high clip.
I was about to say that.
45% field goal percentage and 35 from deep. I love Jason Tatum. The majority of the time he has really good games, but every once in a while he just has some abysmal games where he shoots 2 for 20 or something
Yeah.
crazy.
You hit that on the
But
nose because I was about to say that. There's some games where he's literally like 0 for 11 from 3, and he's just still chucking that thing.
yeah, but he also led his team to a NBA Finals appearance, which is pretty incredible. Excited to see how they play this year. See if he can do it again. I hope he can.
I think that loss will only make him better throughout his
Yeah,
career. My number 2 was Paul George. Some people actually even have Paul George at shooting guard, which
that's where he
that's
first
like
came up with.
yeah, but he's like 6'9", which is crazy tall for a shooting guard.
Yeah, I think he
But
grew like a couple his first years in the league. I think.
yep, I think he did too. But
He's
he's a
wild.
random he's a rare guy from Fresno State that made it big. But no, Paul George, I think is overhated. I know he had a really bad bubble, I guess it was, and but no, he was an MVP candidate in OKC several years back, top 3 MVP candidate, and then now I just think he's if healthy, him and Kawhi is arguably you can make an argument they're the best duo in basketball. So I
Oh
think
yeah.
Paul George is bound for a tremendous season, and I hope I mean, since I cheer for LeBron and the Lakers, I hope the Clippers aren't as good as I think they're going to be, but I have a pretty good feeling they're going to be good.
So my number 2 is LeBron James. Uh, I wanted to put Jason Tatum above him, but LeBron scored more points and shot better from the field. I think Jason Tatum had more win shares though, because
Mm-hmm.
LeBron couldn't lead his Lakers to the playoffs. So yeah, that's pretty great. But LeBron is just super consistent at age whatever, however old he is. But um, yeah, he's still gonna be good. We'll see if AD can stay healthy, and if
That's the key, bro. That's the key.
honestly, I don't even know if that's the key. They just have a weird team.
You know, I kind
They
of
have 3 point guards:
yeah.
Westbrook, Beverly,
Mm-hmm.
Schroeder,
Yeah.
and then I couldn't name another player on their team.
So you know,
Is Melo
they
still
don't
on their team?
no, he's nowhere right now. So Braun was my number one, and you know, we can get into teams later, so I don't want to last long on this. I know you look at it, not you, but people in general look at it, and I know last year was a mess for sure. They have gotten younger, and it's given me vibes of like what Caruso and KCP. I mean, Horton Tucker was even productive in that bubble run. Kuzma, what those guys got, where they got younger. Lonnie Walker, from San Antonio,
Mhm.
he's a really good young player. Um,
I feel like he's been the guy on 2K who has the A potential for 6 years now and stays the same overall every single year.
yeah, yeah, I completely, yeah, I get that for sure. But no, I think AD's health is a huge factor. But there's another huge factor. I think it's Russell Westbrook being. I've said this a lot of times, but being more efficient. Because I think just efficiency wise, I still think Russ is a dog. I
Oh,
think
I
he had
like
just,
Russell Westbrook.
I think he had a bad season last year, but I think the whole team did. And so I think AD last night, bro. I know it's preseason and whatever, but he faced the Warriors and he had 28 points in 21 minutes. And I think he shot like 19% from three last year, which
Mhm.
he's been like a 30% guy and above his whole career. So get back to that. Hopefully Braun goes out there and he had I think he had 30 points a game last year. And so I'm thinking like 26, 27 this year. I've said it to other people. I'm completely okay with AD being the guy. Um, if AD can be, you know, health has been AD's problem his whole career. But I hate Patrick Beverly. I always have, but he's one of those guys you love him when he's on your team. He brings that little edge and
I don't know if I would
stirs it
love him
up.
if he was on my team.
It's gonna take me a while.
We'll
It's gonna
probably
take me a while.
punch someone in the face.
Yeah. So the claws your number one.
Yeah, Kawhi. He didn't play at all last year, but just the combination of elite offensive and just crazy defense is why Kawhi is my number one.
Have you
Um,
seen pictures of him recently?
isn't he like his legs are huge?
He's huge. He's
I
massive.
Kawhi is another one of those guys who I love his mid-range jump shot. He just rises up above everyone and just
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's
It's
just
kind of
beautiful.
flat. It's
Yeah, and it
flat,
just
but
goes in.
yeah.
But his last year he was healthy. I didn't realize this. He played 52 games. He shot 51% from the field, 39 percent, 39 8, so basically 40, and
Mm-hmm.
then 87 or 89 from the free throw line. So a 50-40 guy close with
Yeah.
defensive player of the year potential.
Yeah.
He's he's basically like Giannis, but not as crazy athletic, but he can shoot the three and shoot free throws.
Yeah. No, he's a freak. And I'm making that top 25 NBA player list, and I mentioned to you off the air. The bold take that I have is I think when he's healthy, he's better than Luca, and I think Luca's going to get you 35 points on like 45, 46%
Mhm.
shooting. Kawhi can literally get 35 on like 65% shooting.
Yeah,
He's just so efficient.
very efficient and plays both. He's really good.
Yeah. Yeah, I have no problem with that. He's going to be really high on my power forward list. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Um, but no, so we'll have power forwards on Friday for that episode. Let's get some college football and NFL going here. Some reactions. I'm just looking at some games here in Washington. I mean, I didn't mention this to you. They just laid an egg, bro,
Oh yeah.
against
On one of my
Arizona
notes, I
State.
said Washington lost yet again.
Yeah.
AJ's. I'm sorry your childhood team is not playing that great this year.
No, bro. They were rolling there for a while, man. And these last two games lost to UCLA. The defense has been awful. The offense is still clicking.
Yeah.
But yeah, Arizona State. That's a awful
Defense wins
loss.
championships.
Here we
Remember
go.
that? I think an offensive team
This is
obviously
gonna
is not
live with.
working for your
It's gonna
Huskers.
live with me for the rest of my life, isn't
Yep.
it?
I'm gonna
Michigan
say
kind
that.
of.
I'm just I'll save that for any time I need to bring it up.
Okay. Michigan kind of ran through Indiana, which that's who they beat last week. That
Kind
we
of.
thought
They were
who
tied 10 at half.
they beat Iowa last week. That's who I was thinking of. Where the score was closer than I think it was. It looked, and you said this game was tied at half,
It was tied 10-10 at half.
and then they just 21 zip in the second half. Huh?
Yeah, I guess one of my big takeaways that one of my notes was all the top teams all look vulnerable. There's a lot of good college football teams, and um, this may be one of the most wide open years in a
You
while.
you think Georgia's vulnerable?
They almost lost to Mizzou.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You're right. Yeah. Dang,
They
I forgot about
Who'd
that.
they play this week? They didn't play someone great. Georgia
They
actually
they,
has a really weak schedule.
they faced Auburn this week.
Yeah, Auburn's dreadful.
Mm-hmm.
Mizzou almost beat Auburn. They're at the
Yeah,
same level.
forgot about the Georgia Mizzou. That's very true. And then with Alabama's Bryce Young injuries, they just barely squeaked out of A&M. Or it was
Yeah.
A&M, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
24-20. Someone tweeted this and I thought it was very funny. It was they're like an unranked team almost beating number one A&M. I mean not number one Alabama. That deserves a contract extension.
I mean,
Uh,
there's one team that's standing out to me, and that's Tennessee, bro.
mhm.
Tennessee just stomped LSU. They started off right off the bat, got a turnover on the kickoff, I believe it was.
Mhm.
And then, yeah, 40-13.
Guess what's next week?
What's that?
Alabama at Tennessee.
Ooh. Oh,
One
that's
of
a
my
heck of
notes.
a matchup.
Alabama needs Bryce Young back healthy.
That's a heck of a matchup.
I'm
Man.
excited. I'm gonna have to stream it on my computer and plug it into my TV because
It's
there's
at
some. We're
2:30.
gonna save it for Thursday, but
Mm-hmm.
there's. I took a little forward look. There's a little sneak peek. There's a lot of good
Right
games.
on. Let's go.
Very excited.
How about game day?
It's at Tennessee, Alabama. They're going back to Tennessee.
I was talking about this week's game day.
Screw Kansas. They suck. TCU baby, Horned Frogs.
That's awesome.
I
Yeah,
watched that whole game actually.
did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, TCU 38-31. But yeah, dude,
Max Dugan, beast for TCU.
Kansas didn't drop. They stayed at 19.
Wow. It's annoying. Max Dugan on TCU played really good. And Quentin Johnston from TCU, he just would throw to him every single time. He had, I guess I could look. He had, I'll show it right on the top because he had so many receptions. He had 14 receptions, 206 yards, and a touchdown. And KU's quarterback, Jalen Daniels, I believe that's his name.
Mm-hmm.
He got hurt, and then their backup came in, Bean, and he threw for 4 touchdowns. The first half, there was not a lot of points, and then the second half, it was just nuts.
Yeah.
And Max Dugan is really good. And I guess this will kind of transition, but guess who TCU plays next week?
Who's that?
Oklahoma State,
Gotcha. Okay.
who
Yeah,
uh
Oklahoma State beating
who
Texas Tech
barely
there.
kind of hung on against Texas Tech.
We predicted that was going to be a close one.
Yep. I'm
Um,
I'm telling you right now, I'm getting really excited for next week. There's a lot of good
good
games.
matchups. Mississippi State dominating Arkansas. Arkansas kind of just fell off the cliff, huh?
That's exactly what my note says. Arkansas has fallen off a cliff.
That's awesome.
I don't understand why. I think for some reason Arkansas KJ Jefferson didn't play that game, so I don't know if he's hurt.
Okay.
But their offense is really good. Their defense is really bad, as Missouri State almost knocked them off because their defense was so bad. And you got to have, as AJ knows, defense wins championships. So you got to have a good defense.
I didn't watch this game, but number 24 Cincinnati beating South Florida at home by 4. South Florida's 1-5 now on the season, and
Yeah,
almost
South
knocking off
Florida's not
Cincinnati.
good.
Interesting.
They have Clemson's. So Clemson used to have co-offensive coordinators, and one of our offensive coordinators left to go coach South Florida like a while ago, and they have not been good.
Georgia absolutely stomped Auburn 42-10. We mentioned that already. UCLA pulling off an upset against Utah at home 42-32.
There was no one at that stadium, though.
And my college football prediction is pretty much locked as a
Yeah.
not happening.
That
was a bad
yeah. UCLA, they're looking good. Their quarterback,
he's got
DTR.
He's got 2 last names, right?
Yeah, they just call him DTR. It's like Dorian
Thompson
Robinson, probably.
Yeah.
Very common name.
Yeah.
Just add them together.
He had like 4 touchdowns and
yeah,
maybe a rushing touchdown also or something like that.
He's electric.
Yeah,
Guess who? Do you know who UCLA's coach is?
No.
Chip Kelly, the GOAT. He's been there for a couple years. He's kind of rebuilt him.
Okay.
Guess who UCLA? Guess who UCLA plays not next week, but the next week. The team they play also has a bye the next week.
USC?
Oregon,
gotcha.
All these matchups just keep coming up.
I get UCLA's coach. You said Chip Kelly, right?
Yeah.
And I get him and LSU's mixed up.
Brian Kelly?
They're Kellys, that's why.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Short, kind of large, fat white guys. So yeah.
Ohio State dominated Michigan State 49-20. Like
I didn't even put that on my notes.
No. Ole Miss dominated Vandy 52-28.
Yeah.
Ole Miss is rolling. Clemson, wasn't it like 10-3 at half or something like that?
Hey, shut up. That's what I was telling you earlier. We just had to put together a complete game. It should have been more. DJ threw an absolute beautiful ball to Bo Collins, who dropped it, which that's a big problem for Bo Collins. He's dropped, I know at least 2 I can count on my hand where he's dropped it and it would have been a touchdown.
Yeah.
But DJ's still been looking good. He did throw a pick, his second pick of the year, but he still played super good. He's making like all the throws. He's like really accurate. I think one thing is some of our play calling is really stupid. It's like 2nd and 10 and we do a quarterback draw. Yes, it sometimes works, but it just ran right in the back of someone.
Yeah.
Or my least favorite play in football is a wide receiver screen.
Oh, I hate it.
90% of the time it does not work.
Yeah,
I understand why they're doing it to spread the field, but it never works unless you have Tyreek Hill on your team, which is why the Chiefs have been okay. They're good with that Tyreek Hill. But our defense, after that bad performance against Wake Forest, we have been on one the last 2 weeks. And this week we get the starters on defense, our starting defensive line guys who we thought we've been waiting for forever. Xavier Thomas came back this past week and he played 6 snaps and had 2 sacks, and he won defensive player of the week for ACC and he played 6 snaps. So that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. It is.
We get Brian Bresee back. He had a kidney infection, so he's out the past 2 weeks. He's going to be a first-round draft pick. Tyler Davis, who is super good and just really funny. If I like send you a picture of him, you just like this guy's just goofy, just
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah.
And then Miles Murphy, he's like I don't know, he's just a freak. He's like 6'7". I don't know how tall he is, but he's just big and fast. So I'm excited for them, and we can get into it more Thursday, but the Florida State game kind of scares me a little bit, I will say.
Trap game.
I think it'll be close. The line's at like 4.5. Us.
Wow.
They were ranked at one point.
Gotcha. USC 30-14 over Washington State. I think you mentioned maybe even Washington State could have pulled that one out.
Yeah, I think it's just because I don't like USC. So every game they play, I'm going to say the other team. But next week it could be because you know who they play next week?
Who's that?
Utah. In Utah.
That's a good matchup for sure. Maybe a chance for Utah to get back into get higher in the rankings.
Yeah. Yeah.
South Carolina knocking off 13 Kentucky. Kentucky, another team that's just falling apart here.
Their starting quarterback didn't play, so that's why they lost.
That'll do it.
The guy who's supposed to be like a top draft pick.
Yeah, maybe even the number one quarterback in the draft. Yeah. Wake Forest 45-10 over Army. We predicted that. Notre Dame over BYU.
The Mormons lost the battle of the two religions.
There you go.
In Las Vegas, the Catholics and the Mormons going crazy in the casinos.
Number 20, Kansas State 10-9 over Iowa State. I think you and I both picked Iowa State to win that. I definitely did.
I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
I probably said screw it and said Iowa State.
I literally think you said those words exactly. Alabama finding a way to win 24-20 over Texas A&M. Came down to that final play, didn't it? And then A&M could have won it.
Yeah, it was a stump play, but
yeah, he didn't even throw it in. I mean, it was like he threw it to like the 3-yard line. NC State grinded it out against Florida State 19-17. Any comments on that?
No, we're better than both of them.
And then number 12, Oregon. They've been rolling kind of the opposite direction. They've been going up, other than, Kentucky and Arkansas, but 49-22 over Arizona.
They've I really want Oregon to play Georgia now and just see how the outcome would be.
Yeah.
I think Oregon would still lose, but I think it'd be a lot closer. And that UCLA game, not this week, but next week, is going to be exciting. At Oregon, Chip Kelly returns. I do have a couple other notes because I think you went through all the ranked teams, right?
Yep, that's what I did. Yep.
Texas, straight up demolished Oklahoma. And my takeaway from that is if Quinn Ewers didn't get hurt in that Alabama game, Texas could have beat Alabama and literally be top 5 right now. I'm not even like trying to exaggerate. They were playing really good. Texas may be back. Brent Venables, the seat's open for you to come back to be our defensive coordinator because it's not going well over there in Norman. Mizzou lost again. And I think they need to try a different guy at quarterback. Just see what you got. Yeah. And then this was an unranked game, but just listen to the stat line by Pitt's running back, Israel Abanikanda.
Yeah. I meant to
36 rushes, 320 yards, 6 touchdowns.
Wild. Absolutely wild. I meant to put that as my did you see it actually. Yeah, that was wild.
But yeah, a lot of good games next week that we'll dive deep into. 20 minutes per game, full analysis.
There you go. Yeah. So be on the lookout for our preview episode. Talking NFL now. Thursday night football was.
I think I put a note for every single game, maybe.
Right on. Thursday night football was one of the most boring, worst games of all time.
That's what I put. Colts beat Broncos, one of the boringest games of all time.
12-9, and I feel bad for Russ, bro. Being a Seahawks fan,
he has a shoulder injury though, so this he deflected the blame.
Yeah, there you go. I can't believe he said Broncos country let's ride after the loss. Like, you just can't do that. You can't be doing that, dude. That's a rough situation.
Too much.
Yeah, we both picked the Broncos. Honestly, I thought the Broncos were going to blow them out. I had a feeling they were going to click, and no Jonathan Taylor, I thought. But, yeah, 7 field goals will do it. The Saints knocking off the Seahawks 39-32.
That was actually probably one of the funnest games this
It was
week.
it was a really fun game, bro. But the Seahawks defense, Taysom Hill just carved us up,
Taysom
dude.
Hill went 4 touchdowns. Should I pick him up on
For
fantasy?
real, man. He went nuts. And the thing is that's bothering me is like Gino was throwing dimes to people, and DK was having a good day. It was having a good day. Rashad Penny went down, but Kenneth Walker hopped in, had like 11 yards per carry, and he had a touchdown, his first touchdown in the NFL, and the defense just couldn't literally not.
There was
Or
one
they,
Geno play that was a Geno OG Geno play.
is at the end.
He should have threw it away and he took a
Mhm.
sack, like
Yep,
a 15-yard sack.
yep, that ruined it. Yep, because I mean, it was like a fourth and, or it was like a 3rd and 4 or something like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, we could have gone. Yeah, he just kept scrambling. I was like, get it away, get it away.
Mm-hmm.
But the early game though, the Giants knocking off the Packers. Any belief in the Giants and the G-men?
I still don't
I
think they're
I
that good.
don't either. But they play the Ravens this week, and I told somebody on live today if they knock off the Ravens and go 5-1,
Yeah.
we have to. You have
This
to
is
believe them.
all Brian Dable. Like all his credit goes to coaching. Daniel Jones hasn't played great. Also, I hear a
Mhm.
lot of people saying that they're playing good because the Giants don't think Daniel Jones is their future. So they're like, just go run it as much as you can. We do not care.
Yeah, yeah. No, that was a big comeback win. I think it was like I think it was like 12, what was it, 22-10 at half or something like that, or
Something like that. Yeah. They didn't score at all in the second half. The pack, unless except for the last play when they took the safety.
oh, so it was 20, yeah, so it was 2010.
27-22.
Yeah. Um, the Bills absolutely steamrolled the Steelers. You and I both predicted that. We didn't think it'd be even close. And Gabe Davis had one of the
Good
weirdest
Lord.
one of the weirdest days.
The Randy Moss stat line.
Yeah. What's
You,
crazy is that I traded this past
I
week, I
saw
traded
that.
Alan Lazard for Gabe
I
Davis.
almost
And
vetoed it. I wanted the vote to veto just because.
always out to get me, bro.
Yep.
The Chargers grinded one out against the Browns. The Chargers are not showing. I mean, what are they, 3-2? Yeah.
Ooh, really
They're-
quick on the Bills.
mhm.
Josh Allen threw for 400 and almost 50 yards.
Mhm.
And that one of the, I don't think it was the 98-yard one. Heck, both throws, but the second one to Gabe Davis, he threw that ball
Dude,
six. Oh my God.
I saw.
He
Yeah,
threw it from the 30 and Gabe Davis caught it at like the 7.
it was a heck of a catch too. It was like a one-handed catch, but that ball was on a dime,
Oh,
just right to it. It was pretty aesthetically pleasing to watch for sure.
yes.
No, the Chargers grinded out against the Browns. That was closer than what I thought it would be.
Brandon
And
Staley, kind of stupid.
yeah.
Trying to go for it on 4th down in your own territory. So
Mhm.
plus territory for the Browns.
Mhm.
When you're up 2,
Mhm.
it's below the 2-minute warning, I think. And he decides to go for it when he could have punted it and had him go the length of the field when the Browns are kind of struggling.
Yeah.
Yeah, not smart.
With the I mean, in the Chargers case right now, I said they're not really impressing me. Their number one receiver is out, Keenan Allen, which is a huge weapon that they're
Michael
missing.
Williams, beast.
And
Eckler.
defensively, what injuries they got defensively right now? I saw it recently.
Bosa's out.
Yeah,
I don't know anyone else.
I thought that
Is
that
Mac out?
Jackson. I think Mac's in.
Derwin
But
James in?
I thought so. I'm thinking Jackson, the corner.
Oh, JC Jackson. He
I
could be
thought
out.
he was out. I thought he was out. The Vikings beating the Bears 29-22. Everybody in the comments, Vikings are 4-1 now. They're not impressing me. They're squeezing by some of these games.
They low key are maybe the
which
best team in that division, though.
I know. Yeah, it's gonna be them or the Packers. So
If the Vikings play the Packers at 1 p.m., they'll win.
yeah, there you go. The Bears, on the other hand, they scored 22. I didn't even look at Fields' stat line.
He's completed. He was like 15 for 21.
Yeah,
I think
208 yards.
he had more completions this game than he did the whole season.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you see how that ended? The game ended.
No, I
The
did
Bears
not.
wide receiver got it, was running, and then the Vikings guy literally just they were tackling him, and the Vikings guy just pulled the ball away and sealed the deal.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh my gosh. Um, I actually picked the Patriots over the Lions this week, but I did not expect that.
I didn't either.
29 zip. Dude, that Patriots defense looked good. And what's the Zappy?
Zappy.
Yeah, he looked good, bro.
I think he's better than Mac Jones.
I was talking about it in live today on TikTok. I think he might be making a case to kind of like what people say Rush is doing in Dallas.
No, we'll get to
I
that
don't
game.
I
Hell
don't think
no.
no, I don't think so. That's what I've been saying, but some people are saying that stuff. But I was happy and the Patriots look good. And the Lions defense still sucks and offense just disappeared out of nowhere.
Yeah.
The Jets with a big win 40-17 over the Dolphins. Now, again, did Teddy leave that game early?
Yes, he got injured, and then the new protocols, they saw him wobbling, so then they kept him out of the game.
Teddy left really early. Holy
Yeah.
cow. He threw
They
one
play with the
pass.
third, like the first play or second play, and they play with their
Mhm.
third string for the rest of the game.
Skylar Thompson.
So the Jets are happy, but you beat a third string quarterback.
Yeah. Brees Hall had a good day. 18 carries, 97 yards, a touchdown. Michael Carter, a couple
He had
touchdowns.
100 receiving yards too.
They had four. They had what was it? 5 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah.
Dang. The Buccaneers Falcons. Buccaneers win 21-15. That's all that has to be said there. The Titans.
No,
I'm just playing.
no.
I'm just playing. Yeah. So you want to talk about it, Zach? You're more fired up than anybody.
That was the worst call ever. Of course, it was a Clemson alumni, Grady Jarrett, with the sack. But
Mhm.
good Lord, roughing the passer.
Pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
I think I sent you guys I sent you something. It was a picture of refs, a bunch of refs, and then it said Brady's groomsman in his next wedding.
Yeah. Yeah. That was definitely a Brady call. That's for
I
sure.
legit think the Falcons could have had some magic going too. They
They were
scored
coming back.
all their points in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, they were coming back hard there. The Commanders, I usually pick them every week. I did not pick them this week. I picked the Titans,
Carson
and
Wentz.
they were looking good there. Got it all the way down. I was like, oh, they're going to win this. And then Carson Wentz was Carson Wentz, and somebody explained it perfectly. He actually played a pretty decent game
He did
until
play good.
the
Yeah.
very end. There was one very Carson Wentz play that happened. Didn't have an effect on the game, and I don't know if you saw it. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do not.
It was on that same drive at the end, and he's scrambling around, and instead of like throwing it away into like the second row, he lobs it to the corner of the end zone. The next receiver is in the middle of the end zone, not even close. And the corner or the safety, whoever it was, I think it was Byard or however you say it for Tennessee.
Yeah.
He
I know you're talking about.
he catches it, but both feet were out of bounds. But I mean, it's like that close from being a pick. Like, why wouldn't you just chuck it all the way out? He just like lobbed it. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
what he was thinking. But no, I don't have faith in the Titans. That whole division's kind of still
Titans are gonna win it.
opinion.
Um,
You think so?
Did you see the comments Ron Rivera said?
No, I didn't.
They asked him about how like why the Commanders haven't been improving since he's been there, and he's like, it's the quarterback.
Ooh,
So yeah, that's
calling him
great coach right there. That's an awful like
yeah,
who's a coach who just basically like throws your quarterback underneath the bus? That's just
yeah, not standing up for your guy.
yeah, ridiculous.
The Texans Jaguars game was a shock. Like, I thought it'd be close, but what happened to the Jags offense, bro?
Trevor sucks. I love him, but he's so oh my god. He just makes some throws that are really stupid.
Yeah.
And they put up a ton of yards, they just never scored.
Mhm.
If you look at I think the total yards, the Jags had a ton. I'll actually find it. Travis Etienne actually had a solid game. He had 10 attempts for 71 yards rushing and had 43 receiving yards. So
Best game yet.
yeah. So the Jaguars had 422 total yards.
Mhm.
The Texans had 248. And they scored 6 points.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
I was talking about it on live earlier today. I don't think it's a weird year because I don't think there's like a team that stands out as like the clear worst team. My pick though would be the Panthers.
Oh
They've
yeah.
been looking, and the Niners beat them 37-15. Jimmy G's just really rolling with that Niners team over there. George Kittle's kind of been a disappointment. He hasn't been putting up the numbers like he usually does. But no,
He
that
does it in the he does it in he's a blocks,
Mhm.
big blocker, big,
Yeah, he hasn't had that fantasy impact, which sucks because I have him on
but he is
fantasy.
a
But
big
he
team impact.
for sure, exactly. But no, the Panthers, man. I mean, I think they benched Baker at the end of that for
He was
PJ
hurt,
Walker. Oh, was he hurt?
and they fired Matt Rule today.
I did see that. Yeah. So would you agree the Panthers are the worst team in football?
Then were the Texans probably.
Mm-hmm. Texans have been
Panthers have
competitive.
they have DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, and Christian McCaffrey.
I know. It's crazy.
I also saw
Yeah.
someone tweet that if this happens, this is kind of ridiculous, but I saw a tweet that said the Bills are interested in trading for Christian McCaffrey.
Oh my gosh. That's game over.
That would
That
be
is
crazy.
that is game over. This next game, credit to you, Zach. Credit to you.
How about them
Uh
Cowboys?
I did not think I mean, I always pick against the Cowboys. Like who'd you say you pick always against? USC, I think you said earlier. That's what made me think
Uh,
about that.
or I always say they could lose.
Yeah. Well, I always pick against the Cowboys no matter what. And I'm probably still gonna pick the Eagles against you guys this week in Philly. But no, you guys impressed me this week. That defense came out and the Rams came out flat, bro. I mean, you guys had the what was it, fumble recovery for a touchdown right off the bat.
DeMarcus Lawrence, D
Yeah.
Law.
And then didn't like a couple minutes later, didn't you create another turnover?
We blocked a punt.
That's what it was.
Dorrance Armstrong. It was one of the most beautiful block punts ever. Where right when he's kicking it, he's diving directly on the ball.
Yeah, yeah,
It's just one of those where it's just aesthetically pleasing to watch.
yeah, for sure.
But as you're saying, people were saying Cooper Rush should be the guy. He threw for 102 yards.
Yeah.
And yeah, he was not great.
Mhm.
We ran the ball really good, which is great to see. We haven't been able to do that in a while. Tony Pollard with a big run to score a touchdown. Zeke had 60-some yards. Cooper made some throws when we needed it, but our defense, oh my God. Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence rushing the passer.
Mhm.
I legit think we could be, if Dak comes back and plays good, we legit could be Super Bowl contenders just because our defense has been so good.
Yeah.
And I know I
They
usually
can
say that
carry
every year if we win like one game, but
they
to
can
be
carry
four and
you
one
guys.
with Cooper Rush
Yeah.
and the Rams, like they have some problems, but they play the Panthers next week, so they'll win that game.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd think. I mean, the Rams offensively, man, I don't know. It's like Cooper Cup and everybody else right now. I don't know what that deal is. I thought for sure Allen Robinson getting out of Chicago, he would be more successful than he is, and he has just not clicked over there yet.
Nope.
This next game, you and I both predicted as our upset, Cardinals over Eagles, but the Eagles won 20-17. Eagles are 5-0. So you guys have a massive showdown, Eagles Cowboys on Sunday night, I believe. So
It's probably in Philadelphia. Is
it
it
is in Philly.
Cooper Clutch?
So that's a big game. That's a big game.
I feel like they're gonna rush Dak back. He's gonna play really bad.
Yeah, yeah. I could see him trying to play that one. And then I predict this one wrong this week. I did pick the Ravens over the Bengals, but I thought it was going to be a lot more high scoring than 19-17
Mhm.
in that one. So Ravens, it was the last second field goal by Tucker, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I had to
automatic.
leave. Yeah, I had to leave for work, but yeah, Ravens pull that one out. I really like the Ravens. If I had to pick a second favorite team, I think I'd pick the Ravens. I really like them.
They're fun to watch. Lamar Jackson's just
For the
ridiculous.
Panthers. I love Panthers football right now.
Who
um,
doesn't?
yeah, for real. But no, week 6, we'll have our preview episode up for that on Friday. We'll bring in, I mean, man, we'll have NHL games that we're talking about finally.
Oh God.
So I'll be doing some watching for that. College football preview, NFL preview, MLB baseball, NBA power forward list. It's October. It's a great time. Sadly,
Spooky season.
the Cardinals are done, but everything else is going well. I'm still. It
Yeah, you
hurts,
shouldn't have
bro.
mentioned that.
It hurts. I know. It
On
hurts.
that note, we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, for real. Everybody have a good week.
See you guys.